So I got to do my little sound checks. I appreciate your patience. I'm going to get right into this Ye discussion. Kanye is a very fascinating figure in politics, culture, fashion, power. He's a part of this fifth generational civil war that's going on. He is intricately involved. And I've talked about him a couple times. I do have some clips. I just re-uploaded them on middlemaga.com. These are from previous segments. On the website, I got the clips. This was in regards to Pete Davidson. So I called Kanye a little crazy. Especially this video he did with Pete Davidson. This claymation video was wild. And then I had a little bit of fun with Pete Davidson telling Kanye, I'm busy right now. I'm in bed with your wife. Those are some funny segments. But one thing you won't hear me say about Kanye West is that he's an idiot. He's crazy. There's no doubt about that. There's a thin line between brilliance and insanity. And that's where Kanye West lives. And when I say somebody's brilliant, it doesn't mean that they're a physicist. They're brilliant in their own realm. Kanye West is one of the best marketers ever that I'm aware of ever, that I've looked at and studied. And powerful people know that. And there's a struggle to make sure that Ye stays in his lane, because he's way more powerful culturally than obviously Hillary Clinton. So those people who are in power must control him, or he could do some stuff. He's more powerful than Senator Whitehouse. He's more powerful than these people who want to control the narrative, want to control the country. The Tucker interview with Kanye West was unbelievable. I have a link to it. Go to the website, middlemaga.com. Go to the blog. I have a blog on Ye with all my sourced material from this and links to it. That's the best place to go. And that interview was unbelievable. It was a great interview. And I threw this question out. Kanye West wore the WLM shirt. And same with Candace Owens. But let's speak on Kanye West. He wore the shirt, and a lot of people came out and dissed him for it. People like Jamel Hill and outlets, media outlets, opinion pieces. To my knowledge, none of them have offered Kanye West to come on and have a discussion. That's why he's on with Tucker. Because no one who criticized him is willing to have him on for a discussion. If I criticize somebody on this show, you have an open invitation. Just reach out. I will reach out to you, and you can reach out. I had back and forth with Caitlin Johnstone, for example. I said, hey, you want to come on the show? She thought it was a disingenuous offer, whatever the case it was. It was genuine. I don't come on for beef or anything like that. My point is, if you're willing to criticize someone, you must be willing to have them, or even go on a neutral platform. You must be willing to have a discussion with them, in my opinion. So let's get into this. This part of the interview is only a small piece. I'm not doing the whole interview here. The whole interview is too deep for me. I like to do kind of deep dives. And the part of the interview that I'm going to go over is the part on Josh Kushner, not Jared, his brother Josh. It's fascinating stuff, and I want to give a little bit of insight on Kanye because I followed him because I was into hip hop. Let's still listen to hip hop, but not as much. I used to know every album, every song, and rate it and all that kind of stuff. So Kanye was speaking on what happened. He posted on Instagram basically F Josh Kushner, and here's how it went on Tucker. Well, let me make sure I don't get an echo. Of course, after I do my sound check, I got an issue, but let me go ahead now.
Dinner. I had a dinner.
He's going to pick this up with a dinner between him, Josh, Kim, Josh, and maybe Josh's wife as well.
I had a dinner with Ivanka, Jared, and Josh. And a couple days later, I found out that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims, which is a line that I had developed with Kim. And I had a lot of issues with the imagery of Skims. I felt like there's a lot of imagery that was overly sexualized and things that I wouldn't want to see my wife and definitely not my daughters doing in the future in order to sell product. But it reaches another level when it's like, okay, well, this is what my wife is doing, and this is what she's doing for our children. But it reaches another level when her business partners are selling pieces of company that they don't have to, because the company's already so successful and it's an internet-based company. So it's like they're really just selling off the company in order to create more relationships for themselves that are unneeded. It's like when I went to the Gap and with our release, they just like, they shoveled it out. I'm very cautious with my words. I'm really big on being able to have an adult conversation in front of the children. So I don't use explicit language in interviews especially. So I found out after this dinner that Josh Kushner had 10% of Skims and I had 5% of Skims. And regardless if, Josh Kushner figured out how to put $150 million, I'm sure it wasn't out of his own account, but $150 million, and I'm sure Jared still has a piece of that fund. Regardless of them putting that money in, for me to have been an owner in it and not known, just from a place as a creative where Skims is so based on a lot of the Yeezy ideas, then it's based on all of the relationships in fashion, because I had to use my relationships in fashion in order to establish Kim in a way where fashionable people would say, hey, I'm down to wear Kim's line. And these VCs, they come in and they get a piece of it after the fact, and they run around and say they have ownership in it. So as I put on my Instagram, which, luckily for everyone, they could just write it off that, I'm crazy until they see my disposition in this interview, and then it's gonna get scary. I said, hey, Josh, what if I had 10% of Karlie Kloss's lingerie, shapewear, swimsuit line, and you have 5% of it, and you didn't know? How would that make you feel? And then after talking to them and really sitting with Jared and sitting with Josh and finding out other pieces of information, I was like, wow.
So that's the clip that I wanted to talk about there. There was a lot to unpack with that little clip there. And for this interview, there's just, the content is endless almost.
I had a dinner.
For what it spans. This is the Ye Instagram post. If you didn't see it, he said F Kushner, and he just basically reiterated, what if he had 10% of Kushner's wife's, something that she launched and he didn't know? So let's go back a little bit on this. The difference here is Ye is in these circles now with Josh Kushner is reportedly a billionaire now. And Josh Kushner came from money, his father, Charles Kushner. And that could be a whole nother side angle to go into their family, a very interesting family dynamic and story. But Kushner was born into money. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is a stark in contrast to how Ye had to hustle every step of the way. Here's a story. Even Ye obviously had to hustle his ass off just to get into this position to be at the crib with Jamie Foxx. But you can tell by the way Jamie Foxx does an impression of Ye that Ye he had just been getting his foot into these doors.
Jamie Foxx,
What's that?
Kanye West.
Huh? Kanye West?
You kind of failed to see his genius.
First of all, the way I even met, and I blew it. But I didn't blow it, but it worked out. I know it's not making sense because I haven't told you the story yet, but what happened was that I'm throwing a party for Puff. I throw all these parties at my crib. So I'm throwing a party for Puff, and Jay-Z's there, and Pharrell's a big party. And this kid walks in with a backpack on, and his jaw is busted. And I said, who's that? And they said, that's Kanye West. I said, what do you do? They said, he raps and you know, he produces for Jay-Z. I said, well, everybody comes to my house, got to perform. I gotta see what this dude had. So I walked up to him and I said, yo, man, they say you do your thing, you know, you rap. And he killed with this freestyle. It was amazing. I said, wow, boy, you gonna be famous, right? And then he said to me, he said, I have a song that I think that you would be great on if we could go to the studio and do that song. I said, man, what? I'm trying to get in the music business. Let's go, because I wasn't in the music business. And I happened to have a studio at my crib. So we go in the back.
We heard that, yeah.
But the reason I did that because I would throw parties for musical people so I could try to get on a record. So
Smart.
that's why Puff and Jay-Z and all them were there. They didn't know.
If you can afford it.
We go in the studio and he says, the song goes, she says she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross. I say, I got it. She says she wants some Marvin Gaye and some, he said, yo, what are you doing? I said, well, you know, you don't know R&B. See, I'm an R&B singer. See, I got to put the R&B thing on it. See, I got to do that. He said, don't do that. He said, just sing it simple because it's, you know, it's hip hop. And I was like, all right. So I sung it begrudgingly, thinking this song is whack. He's not gonna make it. It's not gonna work, right? So I left and I went and did a bad movie, and I came back.
But your jacket.
I went and did a bad movie, and I
You
came
really
back.
did it, though.
It was terrible.
Really took a chance.
It was horrible. I do this bad movie, I come back and I'm in Miami, and my boy was like, yo, remember that song you said was whack? It's #1 in the country.
Wow.
And so that's how you get it wrong, but right sometimes.
Yeah, woo, well done to you.
So that was a story of how they came up with that song. I wasn't a huge fan of the song, but you know, it wasn't bad. But Kanye's got so many bangers. But that's how Jamie Foxx, you know, his impression of Kanye. Kanye was hustling. Kanye famously would be at these concerts with people like Talib Kweli and trying to give him his beat tape, and his beats are crazy, always been crazy. He's a genius musician. So look at the layers of talent that this dude has. So you've got the music to make the beats. He was heavily on sampling back in the day, even to extent now. But so he came up on that, making beats, grinding, doing all the beats. Then he did his own rapping. So he's a rapper and producer. Then on top of that, he is a businessman, hustling to get his stuff out there and marketing. So he became at the top of the music industry. And then he wanted to grind in the fashion industry. So that's why you see he is a crazy, deranged narcissist. I will not deny that. Of course, he needs help. He needs to keep taking his meds. But he's brilliant. What he does is unbelievable. And the ability to be willing to be humble and to grind. Ye and Kim started dating in 2011. Some people have this impression that Kim brought up Ye. I think it was a mutual relationship, but in certain aspects, it's without question, Ye brought up Kim. So Kim and Ye started dating. They had known each other, but they didn't start dating until 2011, reportedly. Ye had been grinding after he had gotten some success in the music industry. He didn't have to do this. So in 2009, he interned for Fendi in Rome, getting paid little to nothing, being disrespected. He was like a little errand boy for them, getting coffee, but he wanted to get into the fashion industry, understand, make names for himself. And Fendi allegedly stole his ideas why he was doing that. Shout out to Jake Zeman for a great video. If you want a link, go to middlemaga.com. He goes by Soul R on YouTube. Here's a clip.
In January 2007, Kanye did his first original sneaker collab with Bape, one of the most coveted streetwear brands at the time. He designed a version of their iconic Bapesta sneaker with his mascot, the Dropout Bear. In January 2009, West and his crew hit Fashion Week in Paris and went viral when they got their photo taken by a street photographer, which South Park later referenced in an episode making fun of him. In April 2009, the Nike Air Yeezy 1s hit stores and sold out immediately. This marked the first time Nike gave a signature shoe to a non-athlete. In July 2009, Kanye West designed shoes for Marc Jacobs at Louis Vuitton. The capsule consisted of 3 styles, the Don, the Mr. Hudson, and the Jasper, and they all sold out. This marked another successful partnership between Ye and an established brand, and showed that he was a true pioneer in the sneaker world. That same year, Kanye West and his friend and collaborator Virgil Abloh moved to Rome for an internship with luxury fashion house Fendi. The 2 interns brought forward many ideas, including leather jogging pants, but Fendi rejected them all. Ye said, quote, "We couldn't do anything. We were just happy to have a key card," end quote.
Brought the leather jogging pants 6 years ago to Fendi, and they said no. How many motherfuckers you done seen with a leather jogging pant? Why do you think the song Niggas in Paris is called Niggas in Paris? Because niggas was in Paris. Because I had an office in a small courtyard across the street from Colette, where I couldn't even find a good pattern cutter. I put in the 10,000 hours.
That's one of my favorite Kanye lines ever in this interview, this BBC interview, when he was like, why do you think the song's called Niggas in Paris? I use that as a instrumental for one of my intros. Classic song with him and Ye. He's like, why do you think the song's called Niggas in Paris? Because niggas was in Paris. I love that a lot. I love that. Dude is brilliant, man. He did marketing with Candace Owens, remember? And then there was some beef over who made the logo or whatever. I think Kanye was the one that did it. But people always want to tap into that because he sees the world differently. Like, I don't have that ability. This is special stuff. Not only that, like I said, he grinded to do it. He wasn't born into money. He wasn't poor. He was middle class growing up, but he wasn't grown into like Kushner money. So he's interning in Rome and getting the connections. That's the story. That's the background. So Ye leveled up Kim's fashion game. Kim was awful with fashion. She was terrible, believe it or not. She just had kind of an aura around her, and she knew a lot of people. She was connected. But she didn't know anybody in fashion, though, and she was out of style. She was lost. She wasn't. So Kanye's ahead of the curve. He'll do it before it happens. He's not following. So he helped Kim get ahead of the curve. And don't believe me, it was chronicled on their reality show. And here, listen to Kim talk about it in her own words.
I dream to help raise the palate, raise the taste level of a generation.
In order to accomplish his dream, he needed Kim to level up.
I always thought I had really good style until I met my husband, and he told me that I had the worst style. And so he was really nice about it and cleaned out my whole closet. I probably had 250 pairs of shoes, and when we were done cleaning it out, I had 2 pairs left. And I cried.
No, I need these. Oh, yes, yes. But shouldn't I just keep this for, like, my daughter one day?
Sometimes silence is the best response.
And we went to the Laker game, and we came back home, and my closet was filled back up with all new stuff. Like racks of clothes, just designers I had never heard of before, like Lanvin and Givenchy, and like I didn't know that then.
Let's look at the super fresh we have and like go down from that. I like the top. Okay. It's like, yo, I'm getting on best dressed list now. I'm stepping all into this territory.
And he had all these fashion books and Karine Rotfield and like just all these books and wanted and said one day Karine will style you. And I was like, yeah, right. I don't know who this is. And now she's like one of my good friends, and I wanted to learn.
During their time together, Kanye viewed Kim's wardrobe decisions as his own personal responsibility and encouraged her to embrace minimalism. She used to favor wearing lots of big accessories, but learned that it's cooler to be a little bit simpler. In addition to closet makeovers, Kanye frequently sent trend memos to his wife, implying what she should and shouldn't wear. Kim said, quote, "He sent me a whole email like, you cannot wear big glasses anymore. It's all about tiny little glasses. He sent me like millions of 90s photos with tiny little glasses," end quote. Kanye also amplified Kim's style by getting her in with the hottest designers he was already friends with, from high fashion brands like Givenchy and Balmain. Soon, the couple was appearing front row at Fashion Week shows. It should be noted that before Kanye arrived, the Kardashians were noticeably absent from the Met Gala, which is essentially the Super Bowl of fashion. Each year, on the first Monday of May, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City hosts a charity ball to raise money for the Met's Costume Institute. The Met Ball is widely considered the most exclusive social event in the world and the pinnacle of red carpet fashion. When Kanye West attended without Kim in 2012, rumors spread that Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief at Vogue and chairwoman of the gala event, had banned Kim's attendance for years, refusing to accept reality stars into the exclusive realm of the A-list. But in 2013, Kim finally got to attend as Kanye's +1.
Kanye was performing, so I wasn't actually invited. I was just Kanye's +1, and that was okay with me because I never really dreamed I would be at the Met Ball. I know no one really probably wanted me there at the time, but then I get there and I'm sitting at this table and it was like every designer that I've ever just dreamed of was there.
By the next year, in 2014, Kim received her own invitation to the Met Gala and landed a spot on the April cover of Vogue with her husband. Vogue is extremely exclusive and doesn't put just anyone on their cover, so this was an editorial decision that sent the fashion world spinning, with many insiders wondering whether Anna had compromised the magazine's reputation. For Kim, it was a dream come true.
You know, we're the first interracial couple on the cover of Vogue, and I think people started to take me seriously in fashion. And I remember just sitting in glam, thinking like, this is just, I can't believe this is happening. It was such a surreal moment for me.
So that's, you can see her fashion, how it changed and got more simple. That was the influence, even by her own words, of Kanye West. So when you look at Kanye West, there's a lot in that answer that he provided. If you're not aware of the background, why he's passionate, why he's dropping F-bombs on it. So he leveled their game up. And then he literally, when he said in that interview with Tucker, when he said in that interview that he had the, he had the influence of Yeezy on Skims. Skims is this, it's kind of like a lingerie, but you could call it shapewear. So you do whatever you want to do with it, however you want to shape your body with it. But Kanye said that product had his imprint all over it. And you can see it. Ye brought Kim and then their whole family into that A-list of fashion. They were able to spawn off brands from it. Not just Kim. It helped a lot of the other ones. Ye was the brilliance behind it, the colors, the marketing. He drew the logo for Skims. That's what he mentioned in the Tucker interview. Ye designed the packaging. He chose the photographer. Kim literally called him her ghost creative director.
That Vogue cover was Kim Ye's coming out party. Kanye's A-list status had granted Kim entry into the upper echelons of fashion. And soon it wasn't just her at the Met Ball, it was the whole family. Kim has credited Kanye with changing her approach to business, and over the past decade she's used her influence to cash out. She launched a range of digital products like Kimojis, which famously earned her $1 million a minute, and the Kim Kardashian Hollywood mobile game, which made her $80 million. She launched KKW Fragrance and a cosmetics line called KKW Beauty that's estimated to be worth $1 billion. She also started the successful athleisure and shapewear line, Skims, that was recently valued at $1.6 billion. The Yeezy influence on Skims is obvious, with its line of neutral tone basics, and Kim has even said that Kanye has made a lot of her branding decisions.
Like for Skims, he drew the logo. Our packaging was one way, and I thought it looked amazing. And then he walked in and had about a 2-hour conversation with my whole Skims team about why it was not so amazing. And it really clicked to the whole team. We all went back to work, and he picked our photographers, was involved in the castings for the models for Skims and colorways. Everything you could think of. So we really are, he's like my ghost stylist and my ghost creative director.
Amazing stuff. The contemporary style of keeping things simple lasts for, they still have the same style to this day. And we're talking about this thing launched, back in 2019. So who knows, I don't know how much Kanye still, I think, owns a piece of it, but I don't know how much influence he has over it. So we'll see if they're able to continue keeping it on the cutting edge. But Ye mentioned Gap in the interview. He's throwing out all these references here. Gap, he had beef with Gap. And the reason I'm bringing that up is it ties into why he said F Josh Kushner. Gap was supposed to launch Yeezy's retail stores. Now, in this economic environment, they're not trying to launch any more brick and mortar stores now. People want to they don't want to house inventory. They don't want to open brick and mortar stores. Basically, nobody wants to do that. Maybe some specialized like indoor playground type things, a special like event type place might do brick and mortar. But nowadays, there's nobody who wants to do brick and mortar. Everything's online. Amazon changed that game. So that now it looks like they're backing down, and well, he split from them. But it looked like they were trying to not do the stores. They were supposed to open 5 stores by July of next year, and not one had opened already. So that wasn't going to happen. So he backed out of it, and that's what he was saying is these people who put money into what I designed, my hard work, these people don't have the same vision as me. They don't have the same blood, sweat, and tears as me. I'm going fully independent. And that you see that happening all over the place. Nick Rekieta just got nuked from YouTube. Even on YouTube, you can't. I uploaded, is it friend of show, just from chatting a little bit, C3P Memes did an amazing Trump and Son meme, and I uploaded to TikTok, and they called it hate. This meme making fun, just of Red Fox and Sanford and Son and Trump and Hillary Clinton. So you got to literally be like Gab, your own servers. You're no app store. You've got to be independent. He's going to try to be as independent as possible. That's all in the background as to why he said, I'm going to have to say F Kushner. Here are the concerns. He had concerns about the marketing, the centralized marketing. I don't know if this is fair or not, but I'm just trying to give insight. This piece here, everything so far is fair from Kanye. This piece here, it seems a little bit, but here's the marketing for Skims when he was involved in 2019. Here's an ad from Kim.
My name is Kim Kardashian West. I'm from Beverly Hills, California. I would say my favorite part of my body is my small waist. I am wearing the sculpting bodysuit in the color onyx. The shapewear makes me feel really confident and just secure and cinched in, but comfortable.
So that's the Skim ad in 2019. So Kanye, in the interview, I played the clip at the beginning. If you didn't hear it, Kanye was like, well, now it's become too centralized. He wanted it to be more like art. If you go watch his videos are moving art. And he wanted this to be like that too. Now, he didn't have full control over the company. Kim has to get credit as well, but you see his influence all over it. And now here's a 2022 ad where she has to cover herself because she's wearing sheer.
All right, I wanted you guys to see this. It is really sheer, so I'm gonna be covering, but this is our no-show balcony bra, and it's just a really good classic bra with the thinnest, most comfortable mesh that literally feels like silk.
So I apologize if the video's lagging there. I didn't have a chance to download then upload. I got to figure out that lagging video, but you get the point there that it's obviously more it's a different product. And I don't follow Skims that much, but that's the insight that I think Kanye's at. And he's in a different place. That was before time. 2019 was the before times. So he might even look at the 2019 ad in a different way right now. But he doesn't have control and influence. So that's how you wrap this up. Ye allegedly goes back. Jared Kushner famously in 2020, he was having a lunch. Jared, not Josh, said that he goes back with Ye 10 years. Like, it's not just like we didn't just meet. So allegedly they go back a decade together. Josh had double the ownership in that company. I just showed you the blood, sweat, and tears, the creative genius put into it by Ye, going to work on that. Imagine you work on something with your wife, and even before you met your wife, you had to grind up through music. Then you had to grind up as an intern through fashion. Then you had to do all these ideas. People stole some of your best ideas. That's how dirty music and fashion in any industry is. So now he put that in, helped make it. It's worth over $3 billion right now. And he didn't know that Jared Kushner's brother had 10% ownership through their venture capital firm, Thrive, that he had 10% ownership in that before they broke up. And I don't know how he exactly found out. It looked like it was at that lunch he was talking about. He found out through indirectly, wait a second, you got 10%? I got 5%. I didn't know. So when Ye does the Instagram post and he says, well, think about this. How do you think it would look if you don't know, Josh Kushner's wife is Karlie Kloss, the one from Project Runway. She used to be on that a lot. I don't know if she still is. It's a great show, actually. My wife got me onto that. It was a wonderful show to watch. But and Victoria's Secret, all that fame, model, all that. Imagine if Josh Kushner's wife, Karlie Kloss, started her own whatever, lingerie line, and Kanye West owned 10% of it, and Kushner only owned 5%. You think that would ever happen? And then Kanye didn't tell Kush at all. That's why the F-bombs had to drop. And my big takeaway from this is, I'm going to segue into future discussions on this. We found out in the interview, I wondered why Kanye went after Hillary Clinton. That's a dangerous thing to do. Basically, I thought he was going after Pete Davidson. He was talking about allegedly Pete Davidson being with Hillary Clinton. I don't know what happened. That's what he alleged. I'm not alleging anything. So why did he do that? It turns out we see all this influence and all that. People are battling to get control of anything that he has, including Hillary Clinton, to influence him and take him where they need him to be to control a narrative. So don't look at Kanye West as if he's just some crazy person and that's it. Yes, he is crazy, literally crazy. But that doesn't mean he's wrong. That doesn't mean he's not important. That doesn't mean he doesn't have influence. That doesn't mean he's not more important than most people in DC. So that's why I wanted to go over. Thanks a lot for listening. Let me know what you think on this. If you want to know more, again, go to the website where I have some of these videos. School the World. Always thank you for stopping by, friend of the show. So let me show you. I did, back when I was doing lives almost every day, I covered this. And I covered some of it in this. So this is on middlemaga.com. I've got a couple of those clips on there where I talked about Kanye and Pete Davidson. So, and I have still the lives on this channel. So if you can search for that, let me know what you think. Take care.